Chicken, yes please.
Fantastic. 820, thank you, my dear.
Thank you. Ah, amazing. Thank you so much. Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well and taking care of yourselves. So as you guys would have seen by the title, I am doing a mukbang Q&A. I feel like it has been the longest time since I have done one of these, so I thought what better time to do another one than on my diet break. So if you guys follow me on Instagram, you would know that I am on a diet break. When you see this video, it would have been a week earlier. So basically a diet break is when we bring my calories up to maintenance, just to allow my body to rest, recover, restore before we hit the ground running again for the remainder 4 weeks of my prep. So because it's a diet break, I thought that I would get some GYG. I have literally been craving GYG, and it has really good macros as well. It's easy to track. So I thought that I would sit down in a car with you guys and answer some questions. I'm so hungry. Wow. I just got a mini chicken burrito bowl. Oh, stop. Wow, that looks unreal. So I have my mini chicken burrito bowl, naked burrito bowl, and then I have my Kirk's sugar-free drink. So let's crack this open first, and then I will get into the questions. Wow, I'm so hungry. All right. By the time I actually get on stage, I would have been prepping for a total of 25 weeks. So long. All right, let's do it. So first question is, what is your morning routine? Okay, so if you guys follow me on Instagram, or any of my friends would agree with me, I am a humongous routine person. I love structure. I love having a set schedule every single day. That is just the type of person I am. I work really well off having a set structure every day. So basically what I do every morning is I wake up at 4 a.m. Crazy, I know. People think it is wild how early I get up, but at the end of the day, I am so busy with my business, so busy with prep, that if I don't get up at that time, I literally don't have enough hours in the day. So I get up at 4. Then the first thing I do is breath work. So I've only started doing breath work for maybe 3 months now, and I am absolutely loving it. I have noticed such a difference with my mental state, helping myself be more present, helping myself be more calm. And I also found that it has really helped with my cardio as well. Obviously, I'm doing cardio in my training because I am leading into my show. I'm having to get quite lean, so I've obviously had to do cardio, but with my cardio sessions I'm finding I'm recovering a lot quicker. But yeah, I really recommend breath work. Wim Hof, I think that's what it's called. Research him on YouTube, give it a go. I really love it. I find that it starts off my day really well. So first things first is start off with some breath work. The second thing that I do is meditation. I used to do guided meditation, but I've actually found that I much prefer just having relaxation music, like relaxation meditation music that I get from YouTube, and I just shut my eyes and just focus on my thoughts right there and then, as opposed to someone telling me what to do. You can literally do what works for you. It does not matter, just as long as you're allowing that time to be present. So I do that for about 10 to 15 minutes depending. Some days I'll go a little bit longer, some days I'll go a bit less. If I'm really in the zone and I'm really liking the state that I'm in, then I'll kind of push it for a little bit longer, but if not, I'll just usually do it for about 5 to 10 minutes. Once I've done that, I will then journal. So I've got a journal called the 5-minute journal, and I literally swear by it. I think it is absolutely brilliant. It's not too long, it's not too short, and it asks the right questions. So it'll basically just ask me, what are the 3 things that I am grateful for? What are the 3 things that I want to achieve today? And then it has a nighttime section, which I forget what the questions are, but I'll leave the link down in the description box below if you are wanting to get your hands on the 5-minute journal. That literally takes 5 minutes, and then I will finish off with some journaling. So I'll literally just write down whatever I feel like on the day. It changes every day. Sometimes I'm journaling for a lot longer than others. I just go with how I feel. One piece of advice that I would give you guys when you do journal is, what I find works for me is I don't write for example, I want to be successful or I want to be happy, I always talk as if I'm talking to myself in the future. So for example, I say, I will be successful, I will be happy, or I am trusting that I'm exactly where I am meant to be right now and the universe has got my back. I will get my WBFF Pro card in July. I talk when I'm journaling as if things are going to happen, because I find that when I talk like that every single day, it enables me to stay in line with my goals. It enables me to stay in line with what I want for my future. So I find that that has really helped me. Switching that mindset and switching the way you write in a way of I will be this or I will be that, as opposed to I want this, I want that. And then once I've done that, that'll basically take about half an hour. Then I'll jump on my laptop, do some work, and then I'll head straight to the gym. And that is my morning routine. So it's very, very structured. I'm up early, but I absolutely love it. I really, really thrive off routine. All right, next question is, what is your non-negotiable every day? My non-negotiable every day is training. I absolutely love training so much, not just for physical goals, but obviously for my mental health as well. It's just a time for me to be really present and focus on myself, because obviously as an online coach, I'm constantly writing programs for other people. I have check-in days where I'm constantly making sure that my clients are achieving their goals, which is what I love. But that time in the gym is just for me, and that is an absolute non-negotiable for me. God, this is good. When I went into the drive-thru, he asked if I wanted hot or mild. The old me would say mild, but lately I've just been loving hot. I don't know what it is, but I've just been really appreciating it, which I never thought that I would ever say that. And I feel like my tolerance has got really, really good, because this doesn't even seem hot to me. It doesn't even seem anything. I can't taste any spice at all, which is awesome. All right, next question. The next question is, what do you think is your best quality and biggest downfall? So I would have to say my best quality would be my work ethic. I find that I've got a really good work ethic. I've got really good drive. I work really hard for what I want. I never do anything half-assed. And my worst quality, I honestly would have to say right now, is not being present. I find that I am always constantly thinking ahead, thinking in the future, and I'm never being present in the moment, or being present of if I've achieved something, it's like, okay, I've achieved something, what's next? And I find that yes, it's good to always strive to be better and always strive to focus on the future, but it's also really, really important to be present and to appreciate that the things that you have right now. And I find that I don't do that. I'm constantly thinking into the future. I'm constantly forward thinking. I'm never being present. So that's something that I really, really want to work on, is teaching myself to be present and to appreciate the things that I have in my life right now, and to appreciate the situations that I am in right now in my life, as opposed to always thinking ahead. Tips on staying adherent to your goals. I am lacking motivation. So I get asked this question all the time, and my biggest advice is, firstly, do not rely on motivation to get shit done. Period. Motivation comes and goes in waves. Because of this, you do not want to rely on motivation to stay adherent to your goals. What I suggest you do is really sit down with yourself and ask yourself, what is your why? Why are you wanting to achieve these goals? And it's deeper than wanting to lose body fat or wanting to grow your legs. It's always deeper than that. So I want you to really try and unwrap your why and find out exactly what your core why is, because once you work out what your core why is, you will have that in the forefront of your head and you will stay adherent. Next question is, I've been kind of avoiding this question. Are you currently in a relationship, and how does it affect your prep with keeping balance? So no, I am not currently in a relationship. My partner and I of 5 years have split. We split about 2 months ago. This prep 100% has been my best prep yet. Why? Because every other prep that I've done, I have been with my partner. Now, I would eat out, not a lot, maybe twice a week, and it would be at places that I thought were easy to track. So places like GYG, grilled, breakfast places like eggs on toast, just simple things like that that I thought was easy to track. And this prep, I haven't been eating out at all. at all. And I am about 4 to 5 weeks ahead with regards to leanness than what I was last prep around this time out. It just goes to show that by eating out, the effects that it can have on your progression. So basically, yes, this prep here, I haven't had to deal with that issue, but other preps, it can be hard to an extent, but I just feel like it's one of those things where you need to really sit down with your partner and have a conversation with them and explain to them just how important this competition prep is to you. What I would also suggest that you do is, you know, allow a little bit of flexibility at the start of your prep, but then around maybe 8 to 10 weeks out, sit down with them again and say, look, things are about to get quite strict. I'm not going to be able to go out for dinners with you, but if we could make something at home and do a date night at home, or do date nights that's not revolved around food. So whether you go bowling, or if you go roller skating, or if you go to the movies or something like that, like there's so many things that you can do with your partner that isn't revolved around food. So then I would just switch up your date nights and do something different like that. Competing is a very, very selfish sport. I 100% know that. It can get quite lonely because obviously you're so restricted with what you can do, but it just comes down to communication with your partner and both of you meeting in the middle. So obviously your partner understanding just how important this comp is to you and supporting you, but then on the other end of the spectrum, you having to cater to their needs as well and making sure that you are putting in enough energy into the relationship as well and making time for those date nights that doesn't revolve around food. And when you are with your partner, making sure that you're really, really present with them. All right. Next question. How much does competitions cost? Not going to lie, they are quite expensive. It all adds up. I actually did a little list so I wouldn't forget when I tell you guys all the little things that you have to pay for. It is a very expensive sport. So if you are wanting to compete, be prepared to put in the money. So for example, you have to pay for your bikini, which can range between $600 to $1,200. You obviously have to pay for your heels, which can range between like $80 to $100. Then we have posing. So if you're wanting to get a posing coach, which I believe is very, very important. Stage presence is so important. It's not just about how you look, and that can range between $100 to $150 a session, and it depends on how many sessions that you're doing. Your makeup, your tan, if you're flying interstate for this competition, so you got to pay for your flights and accommodation, your coach, your food that you have to eat on a week-to-week basis, your gym membership. If you're wanting to do any photo shoots, we'd highly suggest that you do when you are in such great condition, maybe the best condition you've ever been in your life. I would 100% suggest that you do some photo shoots. That can range of up to, you know, maybe one photo shoot with a photographer could be $700, could range up to maybe $1,200. It depends on obviously which photographer you go with, and then also depends on how many photo shoots you do. So for example, for me, I'm doing 4 photo shoots for my competition prep. So I'm doing 2 photo shoots a week out, and then I'm doing another 2 photo shoots one day out. And those photo shoots alone, not even including spending money on buying the outfits, is costing me $4,000. So it's very, very expensive. So worth it, but it is very expensive. So if you are wanting to compete, I would definitely suggest putting some money aside because it is very expensive. And there's a whole lot of other stuff as well, registering for the comp. Then if you're with the WBFF, having to buy a gown. We've also got a registration night, so you have to find something to wear for that. It's just so much stuff, so freaking worth it, but it is very expensive sport. The next question is, how are you feeling in general so far this prep? Good question. So good. Honestly, I am feeling freaking amazing. So good. Like I said to you guys, this is my first prep not being in a relationship. And yes, it's had its cons, but it's also had its pros. So firstly, its cons, I mean, like I said to you guys before, competing can be a very, very lonely sport in the sense that, you know, you can't really go out and socialize. You've got so many things that you have to get in your steps, you have to get in your cardio, you have to get in your training, you got to prep your food, you got to practice your posing. Like, there's so much stuff that you have to do with your competition prep And then on top of that, you can't go out and socialize because obviously you're in a calorie deficit, so you don't have a lot of calories to play with. And every other prep that I have done, I've been with a partner. So even though I haven't been able to go out and socialize on a Friday night or on a Saturday night or Sunday night, I've always had someone at home with me, keeping me company. Whereas this prep here, I haven't had anyone. So yes, that has been challenging with that regard. But on the plus side, because I haven't had a partner and I haven't been eating out, I've been meal prepping and making everything from scratch myself. So I am literally, like I said, 4 or 5 weeks ahead of the game than what I was last time. I've got 5 weeks to go when you see this, 6 weeks to go when I'm filming this till my show. And I've probably only got maybe 4 to 5 kilos depending that I've got to lose depending on how I look. So I'm basically how I am looking now. This is how I looked maybe 1 to 2 weeks out last show that I did. It just goes to show, you know, eating out, you can try as hard as you can to track or eat at places that display the calories and macronutrient breakdown on the website, but you just don't know. It's not as effective as just making your food yourself at home. So yes, I'm feeling amazing this prep. My energy has been the same. I haven't had any slumps. Yes, I've had some days where I felt quite hungry, but overall, I'm feeling amazing and I'm so excited to get up on stage. I'm so excited to see my final package. I already know that I have beat myself and how I look compared to my last show. So in my eyes, I'm already a winner. Obviously, I do want my pro card. Who doesn't when they compete? But I'm doing all the things that I can. I'm ticking all the boxes every single day. So basically, it's up to the universe. I'm doing everything I can. But overall, it has been a fantastic prep. Very challenging in the sense of, you know, different situations with regards to my relationship. But overall, I am so happy with how this prep has gone. And I seriously have left no stone unturned. And I'm very excited for the comp day. All right. We have a little body bite. Seriously, that sauce is not even hot at all. I was so close to saying, oh no, it's okay. But I was like, no, I'm liking hotness. Hotness. Is that even a word? Alrighty, next question. Tips on how to manage your hunger levels. So big thing for me that I found has really helped with my hunger levels is, you guessed it, routine. Routine. I always suggest to my clients to have a set meal routine with regards to when you're eating your meals throughout the day. I have the exact same eating schedule every single day religiously. So I eat at 10 o'clock every single day. I eat at 1 o'clock. I eat at 3:30. I eat at 6:30 and I eat at 8 o'clock. Every single day I eat the same times. I find that my body has worked really, really well with those set times, and our body really does love routine. So if you're eating at different times every single day, big meals, small meals, or you're going for hours where you're not eating and then you're eating a whole heap of meals in a small period of time, your body doesn't have any sorts of routine, so it doesn't know when it's going to eat again. This is why I suggest having set meal times every single day and being consistent with that, because eventually your body will adapt. And so when it's time to eat again, it will be hungry, and you'll be able to keep in control or keep your hunger levels at bay when you're not eating, because your body knows roughly when it's about to eat again. I could literally not look at my clock and know when it's time to eat again based on my hunger levels. Yes, that's not to say that I don't get hungry. 100% I get hungry. I am essentially in a calorie deficit, and it's really hard to try and beat that hunger. I know people really struggle with hunger and they really try and beat it, but essentially you can't beat it. You just have to be present with the feeling of being in a calorie deficit, and that comes with having phases of being hungry. But obviously, like I said, there is ways that you can help reduce that as much as possible. So having set meal times is very, very important. You don't have to eat as many times as I do. I like to eat 5 meals a day because that's what works for me. You can eat 3 meals a day. Do what suits you and your lifestyle best, but just be consistent with that. And the second thing is to make sure that you are eating foods that are low calorie, high volume, so they can keep you nice and full. So big salads, big egg white omelets, smoothies, stuff like that, I find keeps me really, really full. Same with edamame pasta. I've been loving edamame pasta, ricotta cheese, and some some form of meat. I've been having a whole heap of jelly light with some YoPro and some fruit. That's huge. That keeps me nice and full. I've also been having some oats with zucchini, grated zucchini, and Slendia rice. That's amazing. Custard, the Muscle Nation casing custard and Slendia rice is also amazing with some fruit on top. Those are the stuff that I reach for, and I kind of eat the same thing every single day because I know that's what keeps me full, and that's the most important thing for me in this prep. I don't really care too much about taste. Yes, the foods I do eat do taste great, but the most important thing for me is making sure that I'm staying nice and full. So those are the two pieces of advice that I would give to you guys if you are struggling with hunger levels, is making sure that you create a schedule with regards to when you eat throughout the day. Be consistent with that. Then secondly, eat foods that are low calorie, high volume, so they keep you nice and full. All right, we've got one more question and I'm going to wrap this up. But first, I want to finish my bowl. How do you track meals, for example, Chinese, high tea, brunches, etc.? Basically, places that are really, really high calories, or if it's a lot of like tapas, like snacky, as opposed to big meals like steak and veg or something like that. I don't advise, if your goal is fat loss, I don't advise eating at places like Chinese, brunches, tapas, because it's just way too hard to track. It's so hard to try and track each individual ingredient that you had, the portion sizes, etc. And the harder it is to track, the higher degree of inaccuracy, which would in turn impede your progression to achieve your fat loss goal. There may be calories that you aren't accounting for. If for whatever reason you do have an event on where you do have to eat at places like this, on occasion it's fine. I don't advise you do it all the time, but on occasion it is fine. But if you do eat at places like this, the best thing to do is just to estimate the total calories of that meal. If your goal is fat loss, always overestimate rather than underestimate. And once you figure out how many total calories you think you're going to consume, then from there, break down the total calories into how much protein is in that total calories, how much carbohydrates is in that total calories, and how much fat is in that total calories, which makes up those total calories. So for example, let's just do a little bit of math here, okay? Let's just say, for example's sake, we were going to a tapas and I wanted to put aside 1,000 calories for this tapas. The first thing that I do is I work out how much protein I think is going to be in that 1,000 calories. Now, the macronutrient breakdown isn't super important to get right. The most important thing is making sure that you're estimating for the total calories of that meal and you're overestimating, okay? Because you don't want to estimate to be consuming 800 calories where you're actually eating 1,000, because that means that you've had an additional 200 calories, which could potentially throw you up to maintenance for that week or even a slight surplus. So always overestimate, like I've said 1,000 times. So the first thing we do is we work out how much protein we think is going to be in that 1,000 calorie meal. I always aim between 15 to 30 grams of protein depending on what I'm eating. So if I'm, let's say, going to like a Brazilian barbecue buffet, obviously I'm going to have my protein super high because that's basically what the entire buffet is. But if I'm having something like tapas, where it probably won't be a lot of protein, but it'll be a lot more carbohydrates and fats, this is when I would probably estimate the protein to be, let's say, 20 grams. So as you guys may know, 1 gram of protein is 4 calories. So what we have to do is times 20 grams by 4 calories, which equates to 80 calories. So what we have to do now is take off that 80 calories from the 1,000 calories, which leaves us with 920 calories remaining. So this is what I do just to keep things nice and simple. All I do is just split the 920 calories that is remaining into carbohydrates and into fat. So I go 920 calories divide by 2 equals 460 calories. Then if I want to put that into my carbohydrates, as you guys may know, 1 gram of a carb is 4 calories. So you would go divide by 4, 115. And then if I wanted to put the last remainder 460 calories into my fats, I would then divide by 9, which equates to 51 grams of fat. So then all I would do is simply go into my MyFitnessPal app and I would go protein. So I'd quick add in 20 grams of protein, quick add in 115 grams of carbohydrates. And lastly, I would quick add in 51 grams of fat. So as you guys can see here, 999, 1,000 calories. I don't know if you guys can see that. 1,000 calories. So that means that I have accounted for that tapper's meal. Okay, so that is what I do every time when I'm in a situation where it's going to be too hard to track each individual ingredient. Your best bet is to just estimate the total calories of the meal. Again, overestimate, and then from there work out how much protein you think is in that meal, how much carbohydrates, and how much fats, and then you pop it into MyFitnessPal. Once you've popped in that meal, you then work back and formulate the rest of your day's meals around that specific meal. I hope that makes sense. If you do have questions, feel free to reach out, and I'll be more than happy to explain it in a little more detail for you guys. But that is all from me. I hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A. I hope it was informative, and I hope you guys got a little bit more of an insight with how my prep is going to date. If you do have any other questions, please don't hesitate to reach out, as I'll be more than happy to answer them for you guys. Fingers crossed I can try and get out another Q&A 2 weeks out from my show so you guys can see what I'm looking like and I can answer more of your questions. But that is all from me. Thank you for watching me eat. It was freaking amazing. I've got 3 more days of my diet break, and then I am back down into a fat loss phase, pushing as hard as I can for my show. But I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for your support and all your love, and all your messages. They don't go unnoticed, and it's so nice to know that you guys are following along this journey with me. It's just been an amazing experience, and I'm so excited for the day, but at the same time I don't want it to end because I've just been loving the journey. But that is all from me, guys. I hope you have an amazing day or night wherever you are around the world, and I will see you guys in my next video.